Hello, welcome to this YouTube video. This is part 17 of a series that we have called Demystifying Computer Project Year 2025. And here is Teacher Shadrach. I believe you have already watched the other series of videos up to video number 16. And actually video 16 will be completely directly related to the activity we are going to engage ourselves in this video number 17. Welcome on board. In this video, we are going to learn how we can create a sample dashboard. If you are wondering what is a dashboard, many times whenever you open a website, for example, there is normally the home page depending on who you are in that particular website. And you find things like what we have on your screen over there. Okay, so this is what we normally call a dashboard, and we would like to try to mimic the idea of what I have just shown you, coming up with our own customized database dashboard to display some necessary information which the administrator, the patron, a treasurer, a secretary may be interested in. Remember, in the previous video, we learned how we create a splash screen, which we said it's kind of a welcome form. Every time you open an application, a splash screen will appear telling you the name of this application, and then thereafter now, if it is a secured kind of an application, you are asked to enter your login credentials. So we dealt with that, a splash screen, which was followed by a login screen. Is it true? Okay, so today, after you successfully log in, where will you be taken? You'll be taken to a dashboard, depending on who are you among the users. Remember, in my users table, I have already classified my users to admin, patrons, treasurer, and there can also be a possibility of guest. So I will only handle the admin issues just to demystify how do you create a dashboard, and then after the dashboard we are going to learn how do you navigate through your system now, because we have already created standalone items which whenever we want to open them, I believe you know now the items that we have created, so many of them. How can we access them? We can only access them from there, from the navigation bar, which of course it would be a difficult way, a hell of time to the user. So you want to make things easy to make them have a navigation screen such that they will be taken from this place to another place smoothly. Are we together? Very good. So welcome now on board. So once we log in, assuming that I am the administrator, I'm taken to the dashboard called admin dashboard admin. Okay. However, I said this is just a prototype. What I mean is it's just an illustration of how the true thing will look like. You can see there are so many things that are kind of pending. Like now, I want to show how many students we have. They are not 1200 in my database. Remember how many they are? They are so many. And patrons are not 35. I actually have about 6. Clubs are many. I think we have 11 and so on. So programmatically now, so don't fear when I mentioned the word programmatically, because we are imagining now the teacher knows very well that we have not as yet become programmers. No, we are going to do very short code snippets using VBA, Visual Basic for Applications. For example, to capture how many students do I have in the whole of students database. Are we together? So hands on now. Let's get roaring. There we are in design view. Okay, so the idea, one, before we continue, and I know I can it is possible I can lose somebody right now, because there are some people who are already scared. What is this? What is the circular? What are the circular things that I have created? These circular things, they are actually command buttons. We all say command buttons. I drop in a large command button there, and then because I do not want to associate it to any of the actions displayed on the wizard, I will just actually tell it to finish. Not finish, actually cancel. If you finish, it will apply the action which was highlighted there. So I want to have this command button. Now it comes as a rectangular thing, isn't it? Many times it will come as a rectangular thing, and you now want to make it circular. So how did I make it circular? Easy. If you are using version 2010 and above, you go to format menu when the button is selected, and then you say, I want to change the shape to oval. Oval makes it circle. You see, in the nightmare there. Then we go to the same option of the under format, format menu, then shape effects. You can make it glow, have something surrounding it, a glowing face or a shadow. In my case, I have used what we call bevel. Bevel item 1. Okay. Now notice it looks wow. You see, and it's not so many options that we have done. You can change the color, shape, feel. Supposing we want it to be sparkling red, there we are. And then the button face. The button face normally has some text. Command 2, Command 3. So you can type anything on the button face. You can type anything. We call this, the thing I'm just about to change the text. My button, I've called it my button, which can, of course, the text there, I know you know that we can always format this text. We can increase the font size and so on. So what am I formatting? I'm formatting the caption, the text which appears on the button face. What about the photo? On the button face. You must Google and search for icons from where they can be found. That's what I did, guys. There are some good fellows who have created very nice, very appealing icons to be used especially by system developers, and that's where I have collected together so many icons. Let me show you how I have stored them. You will create a pool of a collection of so many icons, put them in a folder such that whenever you want them, you can always refer to them. So the button being selected and going now to the properties sheet, when the button is selected, I go to format page. You notice the second option is normally no picture caption, but ours now, we don't want it to be without picture. We want the caption to move bottom, the caption. So the picture caption arrangement, talks about where do we want to have the caption to be at the bottom. Okay, then notice the fifth option below picture type. We have picture, so you can build to check where do we have pictures. So I have clicked the button with 3 dots to get to this Explorer window. Either I pick the pre-existing images under Access, but I want an image outside Microsoft Access. Okay, then you realize that in this window, in this browsing window, Microsoft Access may first restrict you to bitmaps image up there. You can see the file type selected. So tell it I want all files. But remember, you don't want every file. You only want pictures. So either JPG, PNG. Many times I like using PNG. Okay, so there are pictures that have an extension PNG. Whatever that one means, so don't worry. Okay, so you go to the location where your photos are stored. Mine is in a folder that we call masterpieces or somewhere, and then programming resources, and then icons and images, and then what else? I come to OSA. OSA icons, PNG. So if you can manage to look for OSA, you'll get these images there. Let's say that we are saying that in this zone we have CCTV cameras, that button is triggering something to do with CCTV or something, right? Now you see, okay, can you clap for me? So that's what we have done to these button faces. So the caption on the first one is 1200, so don't worry now. I think with that now, you have given me permission to continue. So what do I do with the unnecessary button? And the way it is cute, delete it, remove it. Okay. So I take you back to when we were doing the login form and the splash form as well. We saw that there are events that are normally done based on where are we in the form. If the form is loading, loading is when it is getting ready to be visible on your screen, then what would you like the computer to do? It's an event. During that event, what would you like the Microsoft Access to do? So let's go. I have selected the form, and how we select the form is by clicking this tiny square where the two rulers meet. There is a tiny square there. When you click inside that, you get another tiny square, black in color. So in the properties sheet, now I have got my form is selected. Go to event. Okay, you notice that there are a few things I have already done on the event called onload. Onload, I have said, is an event which happens when you are choosing to open up this form. Okay, it is somehow closely related to open, but onload refers to fetching the form from wherever it is and then putting it on view. Open is when the form might have been temporarily hidden somewhere and then you want to reload it. Okay, so whichever the option you choose, but in this case, let's choose the options on load. Initially, in your case, you are going to find all these boxes will be empty. So like now, if I wanted to add a procedure and on click, I'll just drop down the button, not the build. The build will show you 3 steps, a macros and a code builder, and what else? Expression builder. So in that case, if you follow that route, then you choose code builder. We shall still meet together. But if you want to have an easier time, you first choose event procedure, and then you click the 3 dots button, and it will take you there anyhow. It will take you there. So I have already done something under onload. Let's go there, and I show you exactly what is in there. In the previous video 16, I said you check on the description. There is a reference there I have given on how you can copy a code, put it into your put it into your database, and then that's the only time when you can use this command, center form me. This is somebody, a good guy, programmed on how do we centralize a form. Right. So after that, we want to maximize the form. So in this case, even center form me may not be necessary. Actually, I'll just eliminate it. Let it not confuse you. Let it not make you have a headache. It's not useful in this particular form, because the dashboard, we're gonna have it exploded to fill up the entire desktop window. Okay, so do command maximize. Then I have a procedure of loading a photo. So you'll study my form, and then you'll get to understand these controls. So this part up here, private sub form load, this command is actually inviting this load photo subroutine or sub, so that we can see the image of the person. But in case you have a challenge in that, you need not struggle so much. but if you can follow what I've done, well and good. So you see where the 1200 things are coming from? Very easily. That the first command button, which we are calling command students. So let me take you through. How do you rename a control? You have dropped in a command button, you have formatted it like our red one. I have already removed it. How do you change its name? Simple. I'll first try to, let me undo and see whether the button will return. Yes, here it is. Our button has returned. It's here and it's the selected item. So right now under the properties sheet, it's called command 39. Command 39 up there. Okay. Nelius, can you see there? Hmm? There is a friend of mine who has been following called Nereus Waithera. And I know she's a good girl. And I know command 39. We want to change that. So you go to other page on the properties sheet, and that's where you find the name of the control. Call it command my own, or whatever you want to call it. It is based on the action you are triggering. That's what you call it. So like now, mine there, this first button, this first one, what is the name? Command students. So we want to have something done to command students. So once again, the form is selected and go to event and on load. Event build. We are there. So now this is just telling the computer to change the caption, the text on the button face, from whatever it is to make it become 1200. But 1200 is a static figure. We don't want 1200. We want to be actually counting the number of records we have in my students TBL. Okay. So for this one, I'll have to take you through what we shall need to do. Back again to my, you can always switch back to your database. All right, changing between VB and then database view, VB, database view. My students table is here. Okay. And then I open it. So I want to create an expression which will count 1, 2, 3, literally counting the number of rows that we have in this particular table. So the table is called students TBL. Somebody will remind me that. And the field we're gonna count, because this is the only unique column that I have, which cannot have duplicates. I want to literally count how many unique student IDs do I have in my students TBL. So the expression we're gonna build now is like this. Who can guess how we go? We said you must master the use of D functions. D count now. This is now the function that we are going to use, D count. And then what are we counting on? We are counting on a field that I have just shown you called student ID. All right. I believe it wasn't student ID. If it was, then we are going to find ourselves in hot soup. And then the name of the table, students TBL. No criteria, because we are not filtering anything. We are simply counting all the records that we have in students TBL. Let me very quickly test it. The journey gonna be wrong. We don't want a very lengthy video. I know that. Only that there is a guy here who is normally a very slow learner. Wow, 1353. And actually, those are the number of records that I have. The students I have in students TBL are 1353. Okay, so I switch to design view. Very quickly, I also guide you on counting the number of patrons. So in patrons, we have got a table called patrons TBL. Again, we're gonna count on what is unique. Patron ID is the unique thing, right? And the table is patrons TBL. So let me go back to a VB code. My VB code, there we are. The line for patrons, yeah, and then D count. Open double quotes. We have already done this elsewhere, so that's why I may not be able to. I may not explain so much. Patron ID, then a square bracket to close, a double quote, a comma, then a double quote, and patrons TBL. Okay, that's it. Close it. By faith, it will work. Now, clubs, somebody? Yes, I also have a table called we count, decount, double quote, open square bracket, club ID. I have a field called club ID, which is the primary key of a table where we are storing information about our clubs called clubs TBL. All right. Okay, so we have done 3 already. So quickly switch to design view of the form and then open it in form view. Wow, I did not have the 36 patrons. I have 8. I did not have the 6 clubs. I have 11. Now, what about active club members? Again, it depends on where have you stored this information. In my database now, sorry, I didn't mean to close. I'm not yet done. So I meant to switch to design view. In my database, there is a place where I can either use a query that we had used somewhere. Like now for the clubless students, I can come there and use this query and count the unique appearances of every student ID. Okay, and we are going to see that. So we are going to use this query. Now, for the members who are active, I can open my membership TBL and then ask myself, membership ID is actually the primary key of memberships TBL, and which field shows whether somebody is active or inactive. We have it here. Right? So we want now to be counting the number of times members are appearing and they are active. So we're gonna use now a criteria that is called member status. And then the field is membership ID is the one we are counting on, and then from which source? Memberships TBL. Follow me, and don't forget those things. Imagine I have not copied them, so I need somebody to keep reminding me what we gonna do. So there is that button. We have called it me dot command active members. Okay, command active members. That's the name of the button. Dot caption is the text to appear on the button face is equal to decount. Again, that's the function. And then which formula or which field? Membership ID. Where membership ID is coming from what? Memberships TBL. Member. In case we make a mistake, no big deal. We are going to still correct and get it right. Memberships TBL. And then here we have a criteria where membership status, that's the field that I saw. Membership status is equal to the word active. Notice active is within a single quote. And then we close the double quote, and then we close the bracket. So you can see how I have specified the criteria where membership status is equal to the word active. Okay. Very, very, very well. Very, very well. I'm holding on so that you can pause the video and be able to scrutinize what is this that we have already done. Very good. Switch to take as teacher to form view. We see the results of what we have done. All right, no problem. There is where we are. And the graph, membership status, Ooh, fast end, no problem, no worry. Okay, the form will not allow us to get behind it, so I have to kind of get it back into design view, and then I get memberships TBL. The name is correctly spelled for the table. Membership ID is also correctly spelled. But what about membership status? We don't have membership status, but instead we have member status. We have member status. Quickly, our bundles are being eaten up so much. Member status. Don't worry. We are learning. There are things that are worthy to spend on. Member status. Okay. Member status. Save it. Yeah. Save everything. This one we shall not save because I even don't know what it is. Module 1. I have not created the module 1 today. So I'm switching back to the form. I am switching back to the form and form view. Yeah. So 474 are members who belong to particular clubs. So without much ado, I leave it for you to think on how you are going to do the counting of clubless members, anything else that you may have interest on showing as statistics, stats. They are called stats on your database, on your admin dashboard. So too much for that, too much for those buttons. Then let me get to another issue that I have on the admin dashboard. Okay, you can see something that one may want to see at a glance. Do we have some activities that are upcoming? Yeah, we have some upcoming activities. Actually, I had adjusted from 5, now it is showing me 7. And then you can see that there are those who are very close, those activities which are very close to take place, the events which are very close to taking place, we are showing them in red color and so on, a mixture of something, some colors there, bolded as well. And then, so here there is a setting. Any event which is not far away, below 15 days, 15 days and below, have it with this format. Okay, so where do we achieve that? We achieve that by use of conditional formatting. So this, guys, is a query, and then the query has been placed in a subform. And then that subform, now we have added a conditional formatting. Let me just talk about the query. Conditional formatting, you go research and be able to come up with a conditional format. So I take you to which query is this, which is showing us the upcoming events. So module 1, whatever it has, let it save. I don't know what it has. This is the query, upcoming events. There it is. I have got activities table, activities TBL. It has got club ID, it has got activity name, and then it has activity date. Now, events that have not taken place, how are we able to filter them? We are able to filter them by giving an expression that we will use the date today. The date function does that. And therefore we say any event that has got a greater date than today's date, or a date which is equal to today. So it means it's a future event. Okay. So that's how we are able, with that criteria, we are able to list all, first get me right. We are able to list all future events. All future events. Then number two, our query has also used something else. It has also used the totals, no, it's not totals. I mean the return, the number of records to return. So if I want all, and that is under query design up there, query design, there is the return option. You can always tell it, show me all the future events, there they are, all of them. But now we want to narrow down, give me the top 5 or the top 6 events that are yet to take place. And because our list is organized in the order of activity date, ascending, that is how we are going to see the activity that is taking place today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and the like, ascending order. Okay. So I'll tell it to show only six events that are about to take place. So you notice the drop-down list has 5, 25, and so on. So somebody may wonder, where do we get the 6? You type it in that box, press enter. Once you do that, you'll be able to see the top 6 records. In case there will be a duplicate, like now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. In case there will be a duplicate in the very last record, like say there was a date, another event which was to take place on 20th. That time you'll see more than 6 records. Okay. So this is now placed correctly. This is now placed correctly in a form that we have called activities, upcoming activities subform, or what did I call it really quickly? Let me check. Yeah, here we are. So it's a tabular form. And this is now where you apply your conditional formatting. Then this form is the one which we are using. We are showing on the mother form. In this case, we are showing it on the dashboard of the administrator. We are showing it in the dashboard of the administrator. Okay, so here I go back to design view of the dashboard of the administrator, and here is the subform I have just talked about. So don't forget to leave a mess like this. I now can tell the user we shall show the upcoming 6 events. Okay. Then what else do you have interest in knowing? On the top right corner, I've got an image box. However, there is a frame. The frame is created using Microsoft PowerPoint. I think from version 2013, you can be able to create such a frame. You explore how. But most importantly, there is this item, which is the image photo of the user. So when the form is loading, I had shown you briefly that on load event of the what? Of the form itself. The load event of the form, we want to have a photo being loaded. So this is the calling command. Call load photo. When you see something like this, and then into brackets user ID. User ID is the user who logged in the time we were logging into the system. Okay. So once we log in correctly, we want to have the photo also appear of this particular individual. So you can screenshot the procedure of loading your photo. Okay, you can copy, you can screenshot this procedure of loading the photo. Now your photos should be in JPG format, except probably in my case, I have commanded it. My photo, my own photo was available in what we call PNG format. That's why I have some additional. I have some additional commands for if the user is number one, and we have already tried to look for number one JPG. No, don't use that. Change to PNG of the current user. Okay, so you can ignore the highlighted part and then you type the rest. Then what else will you require to do? You will be required to create a folder called images, in the folder where you have saved your database. Okay, they must be in the same location. The folder where you will have your images, and then the database should be in the same location. Then copy the images there. Copy the images of your users there. Then how do you name them? You name them as per the user ID, which is being generated by the users table. Okay, so like now number one might go to admin. Number two, you rename, you only change the file name of every image. Whoever is your administrator, right click, choose rename, type number one, then next, on and on like that. Okay, then in that folder also look for another photo which you may want to use in case a photo is not found. Let this photo be a PNG. So you browse around, then get any picture you may want to use for a blank photo, and then rename it, place it there in the images folder, and then rename it to default, and then it should be a PNG file. Okay, with that you'll be able to upload pictures dynamically. Pictures will be loaded there dynamically. Okay, too much explanation for that. Then also now, most importantly, I know how many boys am I having in the house? I don't know how many boys I have in the house. Boys like fancy things. I'm also a boy, and that is why I also overthought. And thought of this. I thought of there is a time when we shall want the user to have an easy time of knowing the time, the date that we are in. And that time we want to show, we actually want to show the time here, and we also want to show the date here. So I have created two text boxes. Remember, I explained how you create a text box. I believe now you know. I've created two text boxes, and then I have renamed the first one to be txt time, and I have renamed the second one to be txt date. So the first one gonna show us what? The time it is. And we want that time to be very dynamic. Right now, you notice that the box is there empty, doing nothing. It has nothing to show. Why it has nothing to show is because we have not told it to show anything. So let's tell it to show something. Okay, so in design view, notice, follow this procedure. In the properties sheet, make sure form is the item that is selected. Okay, then we go to events. This time round, we're gonna play around with an event called on timer. So in the list of events, we have event called on timer. So what we do to the event on timer, drop down the list of available options and then choose event procedure. Then choose the build button. Your cursor is in between private sub form timer and then add sub. Don't interfere with those two lines. Only push the cursor forward, space marabili, and then you type something like me is the form we are in, and then that makes your work easy to remember what are the controls that I have. So like now I only remembered that I have something like txt. txt. So when I start typing txt, I now can see there is txt time. Txt time and is equal to txt time is equal to now, is equal to now. Now function normally returns not only the date today, but also the time now, the current time as per your computer system. Okay, so we want to use that option. Me.txt date, again they will share the same command. It's also is equal to now. But what will make one to display the time and the other one to ignore the time and display the date is how you have formatted them. So we go back to the form itself, and then I choose the first one, which shows txt time. Txt time has a format. It has a format, and at the properties sheet, you notice that we have used long time. Long time. Okay. Then when I choose the one which is txt date, I have also changed. It's not using the same format as txt time, but it is using long date. For example, the example that you see there. Are we together? So that now, if we display, if there is nothing that will have happened, we shall only okay, what is making this form load slowly is the graph that I have at the bottom there. So far we have nothing. Why we have nothing is because there is something I have not so far told the computer what to do. I have not told it on the event timer. On the timer event, we want to have this time now being controlled. Microsoft Access has got a way of accessing the system clock, which is so fast that within 100, I don't know whether these are microseconds or milliseconds and so on. This is equal to 1 millisecond. 100 timer interval. Don't leave it as 0, leave it as 100. Okay, 1000 might be slower. 1000 is per second, but let it be a bit faster. Or we can try with 1000. We see what's the behavior, whether it will be able to synchronize and show us a movement of seconds. Okay, so I once again switch to form view. Okay, take you there. Let the graph first display the graph. If the graph bothers you, because these are now two things that are consuming some time. Okay, the graph has displayed and the clock. You see now. So 1000, the value that we have indicated, timer interval down there, 1000 is equal to 1 second. So it's still okay. 100 is quite, I think, 1/10 of a second, right? So you will study the things that we have done, so that those which you feel are necessary for you, you can always add them. You can always add them. Right? Now, research on how you are going to show, after logging in, research on how you are going to show the user's full name and then the user role, right? You remember there is a place where we have in the login form. In the login form, let me just not leave you blank there. In the login form, where do we have it? Here. In the login form, where did I press? Here. In the login form, we said the OK button has got a batch of activities it's evaluating. One is authenticity. Two is when the record is found, and the statement that is looking for the record is what I have highlighted. I believe you already captured this. So when the record is found, then we want to store somewhere in a variable. In a variable, we want to store the user full name, the user type, and the user ID. So these three statements are helping us to store dynamically who logged in at the time of logging in, what is their full name. This statement does that. Okay, the second statement stores what is the user type, such that every time you are using the database and this person has logged in, you can always ask these variables to give you their values which they have stored. Now, you realize also you might find that it may not work the way mine will be working. Why? Because every variable that you want to carry from one form to another, from a form to a report, from a report to a query, a field, a variable that you want to use in many places, you must first again declare it globally. You must declare it how? Globally. How do you declare things globally? Let me show you right now. It's not miracle, it's not magic. So I have got a module. I just gave it the name global variables, and this is where I have used it. I added the statement option explicit, which requires every variable that you use to be declared. And then the three variables which I want to use in many places, they are there. User full name, user type, user ID. They are global variables. So what I'm going to do to my form now, so I forget about the login form because I'm through with it. I'm already through with it. To my dashboard, the admin's dashboard, I want now to have this is a label. Label is created using the AA control, and then I gave it a name up there. What is the name of this control? LBL user full name. And then we have got the next one is also a label called LBL user type. Okay, so when the form is loading, go to form here, choose form, and when the form is loading, I gonna now, instead of showing the XXXX things, I'm gonna now show me dot LBL label, LBL user full name. And in the next one, I'm gonna show what? Me dot LBL, this is the user type. I highlight and then press space. Okay, like now I'm loading this form. I'm loading my form without engaging the login form. So what do I expect? Do I expect to see something? Debug. Me LBL user full name is equal to me. Oh, sorry. So, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to use. I'm supposed to use the variable that I showed you from the globally declared variables. We have got user full name, and then we have got. I'm sorry for that. It's me now bringing that confusion. And then we have got user type. The variables that we said, you can carry them over from one form to the next and the like. Okay. Yeah. So I am expecting they should show nothing actually. Why? We are not coming from the login form right now. So they are kind of blank. Now, when they are blank, and likewise also to these buttons, be very careful, because sometimes when you are giving the database fresh to the organization you had programmed it for, you will realize there can be an error showing here. In case there was zero record in the student's table, there would be error here. There would be the word error, most likely. Why would there be an error? Is because we have also not told the form or in the command, we have not indicated what should be done in case of a zero record. And also likewise, when there is no user full name, when there is no user type, what should we do? When these things are null, what should we do? Remember our NZ function in some other videos up there. So when the counting returns null, we say there is zero item. So I'm fixing nz function before dcount, and then at the end of the dcount function, putting a comma and then typing a zero and closing bracket. Likewise here, nz, open bracket, then a comma, zero, and a closing bracket. And what else? Decount. Again, we have a decount here, and nz, open bracket, then at the end, comma, zero, close bracket. And then what about now in the case of user full name and the user type? Just say nz again. This is now when there is no text to be shown. When there is no text to be shown, let us say there is nil user. Okay, nil user. And then again, you close the bracket too. And then nz here, this is the value to be shown in case there's no value stored in a particular field. And again, here, we also say nil, and then close the bracket. So if I have not logged in using the correct procedure, and then I try to display my form, just hold on a bit, let the graph display. What has happened? Okay, whatever has happened, it might be that whatever I am imagining that there is null value, it might be the computer programmatically has stored some element which is not exactly like the null. It may not be considering the user full name as null. It might be considering it as an empty, there is something that we call empty string, without anything. So far so good. Now, finally, let me talk about the chart. How did I achieve this chart? This chart is about clubs enrollment. So that, guys, was achieved by me creating using Wizard. There is a way that you can create a query, clubs enrollment counter query. No, is it that one? Let me see. Is it the one? Membership summary, I think. Yes, I did run a query wizard and asked the computer to use the memberships table, and then the membership table, as it was actually not membership table, but you can see clubs enrollment list, which is based on the memberships table and the like. And I did this kind of a thing: membership and the field club name and then membership status. Then it was supposed to be a summary query. So that one, research, and then be able to come up with a summary query which counts the number of members who belong to a particular club. If it's computer club, let's see the number of members using a similar query. Do research on that. So this query now with the two columns that I have are the ones which, again, I engaged the design tool to, under design tools, there is now a wizard that you can trigger to generate a chart. You can always draw a chart even in Microsoft Access. So again, I leave you for that, food for thought. If you need to show a graph on your dashboard, then what you do, you make sure you know how to follow the procedure of inserting a chart. Okay, and then another food for thought. This one I have also not thought of it, but I only put it there as our food for thought again. Good evening, administrator. I have not as yet done any command there. We want in the morning the administrator to be greeted how? Good morning, administrator. And it should not actually call the person administrator. It should identify them by their names. So that is an area which I want you to go think about and anything else you feel relevant for the admin to see on the dashboard. Are we together? So I had said that we are going to do a navigation, but you can see the length of the video is already oversized. Okay, so navigation, you're gonna look it up when we meet next in video number 18. Video number 18 is where we are going to study how do you create a navigation form. God bless you. Stay safe. Keep following. Don't forget to do the thing I said. If you have been watching and you have not been subscribing, you have not subscribed yet, then you are doing the wrong thing. You have not liked these videos, then you are doing the wrong thing. So keep it here. God bless you. Till we meet again.